Hey y'all, welcome to my channel again. I'm back with another story time, and this story time is how I ended up getting pimped out at a young age. Of course, I was like young and dumb around that time. Just was just living life and didn't really care too much. Didn't have like just wasn't thinking. So basically this has to do with back in the day when I was a dancer, became a dancer. The way that I came I'm gonna start this out. The way I became a dancer was I had a couple friends back in the day, and they were already dancers. They were a little older than me. This I had got my first apartment, and I happened to be working or whatever, and I would always like, be around them and stuff like that. So it was somebody a couple people I was really close to, and then one of them we really hanged out a lot. Um, and she was older than me. I had got a job and starting out just a little job. Back in the day it was called J Gumbos at the time. Um and I liked working there, and then they had that it was a street, um they call 4th Street Live now, but J Gumbo's been way gone. So anyways, I decided, sorry y'all. Um if I look down, I'm kind of looking at my notes. So anyways, basically, um it all started out like I was working, um and I decided to go to my I decided to go over my friend's house, like I think it was like after work or something or whatever. And she decided I got off a little early that day, and I went over her house, and she was I went over there, hung out with her, chilled, talked, and uh excuse me y'all. So anyways, went over there, we were just hanging out. Make a long story short, um I had got my car, and I had got my car, and around this time, and she needed a ride to work. So we were all talking about, her going to um she was like, "Oh, can you take me to work?" And I was like, I don't man, I ain't doing nothing." So uh before before I went home, I went ahead and got ready to take her to work. And on the way to work, she was talking to me about it. She was like, "Oh, you should, you know." I was just telling like my financial problems, because I was having a little money problems at the time. And she was saying, "Well, oh, maybe you should come in her, in the club, to see if you like it." And I'm like, "Girl, I'm not about to do that." So I kept trying to tell her that, hey, I ain't trying to. And then she was like, "Well, it's money to be made, it's money to be made." So I said, "Well, okay, I'll go on there. What is it gonna hurt?" So, and it was like, "I know I ain't interested in this. I ain't," but when I went in there, and I was nervous, but I was seeing, I guess it was like, just being in there for like a couple hours and was just, looking around, seeing what was going on, seeing how much money was being made. Like, I was just, kind of like, you know, studying. I was like, man, I really, I need to make money. So that's all I can think of. Was like, oh, you can really make some money in her. Like, she wasn't lying. So anyway, so we what happened was the she came over after she had been working for a little while, and she came over to me. She came over to the she came over to me and talked to me, and then she said, well, asked me, well, hey, what do you think about it? And I was like, oh, I was like, I think I can do this. This shouldn't be hard. It was like going around talking to customers, trying to get them to buy you a drink, and just walking around, the stage and dancing a little bit. That's the part I was nervous about. But as far as like trying to get somebody to buy me a drink, I don't know, I wasn't too nervous about that. So anyways, sorry y'all. I'm a little tired. So anyways, so I talked to the manager or whatever, and he asked me, I want to come in, audition or whatever. I was okay with that. At that night, I was like, I made up my mind. I don't care. I'm gonna make it happen, because at the time it's like I really needed the money, and I was okay with two jobs, at that time. So anyway, so I think it was like a couple days later, that's when I came to try out, like a little audition or whatever, and they checked me out and stuff, for the club. So I really didn't have to do much. It just, just it just was like, you know, basically just put me out there. I really didn't have to, dance much or nothing. I just off the top just danced to the music, and then, they were, watching me during the night and see how I was doing. My first night I was so nervous, and of course I'm gonna be nervous in front of people. The club wasn't, it was busy, but it wasn't that busy, to where I got, overwhelmed, but it kind of like warmed me up to what's to come. So anyways, after that had happened, I think I never forget. I sold 3 drinks. I got 3 drinks in one night. So I thought I was doing good, at that night or whatever. I did not have, many clothes to start out, as far as like they call it stripper gear, stripper shoes, all that. I didn't really have, any of that type of stuff, because I wasn't used to like dressing up or, all that lingerie. I didn't have all that. So anyway, because what I did was actually I went to a store and got something really cheap or whatever, just for me to start out with. And my friend, she let me borrow some shoes actually. And that was just for me to start out in. I wasn't even used to wearing heels, but it just became the norm. So I used to go home and just practice and walking in them. So anyways, I actually, so I started from, I'll never forget, I started on a Friday, and I still had my other job around the corner. So what I would do is, as soon as I get off that job, I would go to that job. And this was almost, I did this like constantly, and I'm like, okay, I got to get used to this. So I would leave, and then it's like, it wasn't, and then during this time, my car had just messed up. Like my car was like, and I'm like, what else could possibly happen? Like, so I couldn't actually, the car was like useless. So after that, I'm like, oh my goodness, like here we go. So it started out like, I think it was like a month. It was like a month. And in a month, my car just messed up. So anyways, it was just beyond repair. So anyways, so I just kept working, kept working, kept working. I wasn't the type at this time. I wasn't really like spending. I was more trying to save. Because I'm like, man, now I don't have a car, so now I have to start all over with a car. So, and I did not want a car payment. So at this time, it was like really difficult for like me getting back and forth to work. That was costing, and I'm just like, okay, thank goodness that I have this job, this other job, and then I have this other job. So, anyways, as time was going, me and the girl, we still cool and all of that type of stuff, and work's going good. Of course, you have like slow days, bad days, slow days, bad days. But what was so good about my last job, my other job that I was working, was because I made tips at that job. And even when I did not make nothing at the club, or vice versa, if I didn't make nothing that much at the place, then it would sometimes it would just work out, So I got tips at this job, and then I got tips at that job, and it was nice. So then I started, like, the more money I made, I started to put a lot into my appearance, to make me, stand out better, and just because it's all about how you look and all of that. Like, so anyways, even though I did not know how to like work the pole the best or any of that, I had to make sure I was like I was tip top shape. So anyways, body wise, all of that. So anyways, so let me see. So anyway, so everything started going good. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. It's my remote. So anyways, back to the story time. So anyways, y'all. So me and my homegirl, everything's going good one night. We decided to everything's going out one night. I think actually, y'all, it was my birthday. So we decided to go out, and it was my birthday. We went to this well-known club down here. I just lost the name of it. But we used to go to the well-known club, and I didn't really like associate with too many girls like working at the club. Like, I just was there to get my money and just keep it moving. But we seen some girls. We went to this well-known club and we were celebrating. We seen some girls that worked at the club with us. So anyways, we seen some girls work at the club, and they came up and like introduced themselves to us. And I was gonna say, they came up and introduced themselves to us, and like we spoke and everything. Wasn't no type of hostility towards them or nothing. So anyways, we how you in a club and you just dancing, and they was trying to like dance with us and stuff like that. So we were just all having a good time. It was my birthday. I was trying to enjoy myself, and so anyways, I'm not paying attention to nobody in the club, and later on you would see someone was paying attention to me the whole time. Um, anyway, so these girls came up and we're just thinking they cool, they from the club or whatever. It is what it is. But come to find out, it was a whole setup, y'all. So, anyways, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about that later on. But anyway, so we're in the club and they're in the club. They're like claiming to be with somebody. You know, they were just claiming. I was like, hey, well, who y'all here with? So we like in the club's going, oh, and they was like, oh, we here by ourselves. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. So they there by themselves, and so they say, and then so we like, oh, okay, all right. So so the club night goes on. Like me and my friend leave. We don't think nothing of it or nothing like it. And I was like, girl, you ever talked to them before? And she was like, no, not really. I say hi and keep it going. I mean, keep it moving. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So, anyways, we didn't think nothing of it. The next day, we wake up or whatever. Actually, I think she took a Uber home or something like that, and then I didn't live that far, but she didn't. It was the next day. So, anyways, the next day came. We didn't think nothing of it. Um, so, anyways, fast forward through the week. Me and my friend was just talking or whatever, and we didn't really talk about that night or whatever because we went to work like a couple days on a weekday or whatever. The weekday wasn't usually like popping, not in this type of place, city I'm in. So anyway, so went to work, and then like this weekend, like this upcoming weekend, it I think it was like a party or something that came in. Like this weekend was fast forward. This weekend had been like it was like the following weekend. So I'm like, oh, everything's like, I don't know what was going on, but our club was just off the chain. And it happened to be three. Actually, I meant to tell y'all, it's three clubs in one. I mean, like three clubs on the same block. So it's like three little bitty clubs on the same block. So every club has something going on. So, and really different type of girls. But this club had became a lot of black women. So this is the first club I had ever worked for that that had this type of club, this type of all these women, black women. And in other clubs, the other two clubs had like more Caucasian women and stuff like that. So basically people had choice. So anyways, we only had like a few Caucasian women in, on the yeah, on the in the club. So anyways, make a long story short, this club was like popping this weekend. And I'm like, so I was in there, I was working so hard, y'all. Like I was like, I had a a goal I was trying to make. So that day, so actually I was trying to sell drinks. I was doing lap dances. Like I was just, I end up making, I was close to what I was making, but not noticing I am being watched this whole time. And I had seen these two guys, but I seen a guy that I know he was pretty much known. So anyway, so I just was just trying to make my money, and then when it was time for me to get on the stage, it's like for some reason I looked at him, but I was not trying to make eye contact with this man. Like and then it's like I would just try to like, and then we had this. It was like this it was 3 poles in the middle, and then the rest of it like was right behind the bar. So it's like right behind the bar. It's like you go all the way around the bar, but then it's like 3 bars in the middle. When the 3 bars in the middle is where you start dancing, and then you work your way around the bar where people are sitting, right? So anyway, so that night, like I think it was like they wasn't in there the whole time, but then they happened to come in there and then just sitting, and then I just feel like all like his eyes is just on me, like I could feel it, like, and I'm like up there and I'm like dancing around, dancing, and then I get around to him and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And he just trying to talk to me. He just looking at me. He's just looking at me. And I'm just like, oh, hey, I was just trying to be nice, just be nice. And then like, so, he was with someone else too. And then I was trying to be nice to them. And he was just watching me and just, I just was like, it was like an uncomfortable feeling. Cause I'm like, you watching me hard, you know what I'm saying? So then he tips me, and then the guy tips me too. And then I get around the bar, and then after my song is up, and then I decided, and it was like, well, give it up a whoop, and then my my name at the time, it's like, give it up or whoop whoop. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm like, when I get off the stage, I'm like trying to go to the back because I didn't get hot and everything, and I need to like freshen up. And then not only that, I was trying to change outfits. And anyways, it was just getting hot in there and stuff, and I need to, I used to like switch outfits twice a night. So anyways, so before I'm so anyways, actually what I do is I run to the back, and and he's like, hey, so he tried to like flag me down, like, come here. And I'm like not trying to pay it, like I'm just like, hey, you have to hold on, because I'm trying to like freshen up and stuff like that. So anyways, um my friend comes back there and she's like, hey girl, you alright? Ooh. I was like, yeah girl, I got cool off, it's hot, and I done got nervous, and I'm like, do you know? And then I kind of asked my friend, I was like, hey, do you know that guy out there? And she was like, what guy? And I'm like, them 2 guys that's sitting right there, like in the corner of the club by the bar. And she's like, no, I don't know them. Like, they've been in here a couple times or whatever, but I've never approached them. So I'm like, oh, okay, well. She was like, they've tipped me before. That's about it. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, she was like, why? I was like, I don't know. The guy's just like on me hard, And so I was just like, I just didn't think nothing of it at the end of the day. And so what happened was, y'all, I decided I had got freshened up and stuff, and went back, I decided to go outside. I decided to go outside to like, I was still like a little hot. It was getting a little hot in there. And then so I freshened up and stuff, and then I went to the outside, and then like I put on like a long jacket or whatever, cover myself up. And I took off my heels. My feet was really hurting. So I took off my heels or whatever. So as I go outside and I look, the guy's gone. So I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, okay, the guy's gone, good. And then so I go outside, and then there he is, smoking a black and male. So I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, I didn't mean to disturb you or nothing. And he was like, no, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? I'm just curious. And then like he like introduced himself to me, and I'm like, oh hey, well and then I tell him my name, not my real name. And so anyways, so make a long story short, so anyways, make a long story short, we're talking out, somehow we get to talking outside. So I'm like, he's like, I've been watching you. Like, you've been watching me. He's like, yeah, I've been watching you. I've had eyes on you, like, I'm like, huh? What? Like, it was just crazy how that conversation went. But it was a minute ago, but I don't exactly mean, I just know I just remember pieces of everything since, everything happened. So, anyway, so he was just telling me like, he would, he want to get to know me outside of the club, and anybody know that, and somebody say they want to get to know you, it could be that they're grooming you. And at the time, I didn't know nothing about that. So, anyways, he ended up like talking a good game or whatever, and I slid my number to him, which is the first time I had ever done something like that. So I slid my number to dude, and anyways, um, I slid my number to him, and then I was like, well, okay, it was good talking to you. I'm gonna have to get back in here and get to work. And he was like, all right. And then so next thing you know, some people, I didn't think nothing of it. So the next thing you know, some more people start coming in, and this towards almost the end of the night, and some more people start coming in. So I think we had like an hour left, 2 hours left into the club. And people start coming in, and then so having a good time or whatever. At this time, I decided just not. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to dance anymore. Really, actually, I was just trying to sell drinks at the end of the night because I was actually tired. I was getting tired. So, anyways, I did not think nothing of it. Actually, um, yeah. So, anyways, time went by. We had to do money count, of course. I don't know money count. You have to like tip the DJ and pay your tip out, whatever tip out may be. So, anyways, so at the end of the night, you tipping the DJ and you paying the bartender. So anyways, so it's like fast forward, my friend's going home. She had a way home, and I did too. Our friend was a taxi driver, so he dropped me off, and then he dropped her off too. And anyway, so I goes home or whatever, and next thing you know, I goes home. I kind of have him walk me to my door, make sure I'm good. And I didn't think nothing of it till like the next day. The next day I had woke up, and I had like, I didn't wake up probably, y'all. I didn't wake up. I didn't have to go to work the next day. So I didn't wake up till it was probably like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I woke up. I was so tired. I felt like I just really needed that rest. So, anyways, after I woke up like a couple hours later, um, I get to what was I gonna say? So yeah, I get a phone call from him, the one I met at the club. So I get a phone call from him, and like he's talking, he's like wants to meet up and stuff. And I'm like, I really wasn't in the mood to meet up or whatever, but he actually kind of like, what's the word? He kind of talked me into it. So he wanted to meet up with me. What was it? He wanted to meet up with me like, I guess a couple hours from the time I got up. So I was like, okay, let me get myself together. Because what he did was he invited me to go eat with him. So Actually, what I did was I just felt safe to meet him where he was. So I actually called a Uber to meet him. I just wouldn't forget. So, anyways, I met him at a restaurant, and as I'm meeting him at a restaurant, um, he's like, somebody else is gonna join us, and I'm like, gonna join us? Join us for what? And he was like, I just, I'm gonna explain everything to you, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So we met somewhere or whatever. We met at this place, and next thing you know, one of the girls from the club had came to the dinner. I mean the dinner, and I was like, what in the world is going on? So at this time, I can't tell I can't talk to my friend. Whatever. I let her know like later on, but I didn't let her know like I had gave my number to him and all of this type of stuff. And so y'all, I'm going to do a part 2 on this. I'm going to end it there. So I'm going to do a part 2 on this and then let y'all know what else happened.